Yo, you know what they say about stories? Boy, oh boy, have I got the story for you. It goes back to when I was 20. The date was March 5th, 2004. And believe it or not, I just bought about a month prior, I just bought a CRX, an EF8 SiR. And it's quite a funny story actually, but a mate of mine had a friend that had just been deported from Melbourne for dealing drugs. As a drug dealer, had plenty of money apparently. Anyway, so he'd bought this EF8 and he'd spent a packet on it. Had the B16 in it, had a really nice set of 17s, Kings lowered, nice body kit, sunroof, climate control, subs, awesome stereo. This car was a beast. So I bought this car, and you know, being a young fella, I was giving it a shit in terms of because you can, and it goes amazing and handles like a go-kart. Anyway, so on the weekends I'd go out and have some fun with my mates. Being around town, small country town, Dalesford. Used to shoot out to Ballarat, you know, wind her up to 200 clicks, whatever. It was fucking good times. One night, I'd had a gut full of drink. I was blind drunk, I could barely see. And you know, I probably shouldn't be telling you guys this story because it's embarrassing, but you know what they say about stories, you know, they have to be told. Rightio, so I'm blind drunk one night. It's March 5th, 2004. Had this CRX for approximately, I don't know, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, not that long. Was absolutely loving it. I'd had someone offer me at the time 15,000 cash for something to buy it off me. I said, no way, I'm not selling this beast. So, been out on the drink all night. It's about midnight. My best mate Dan, who I've grown up with, asked me for a ride home. And I'm like, oh, I don't think it's a good idea. I can't see too good. You know when you've had 12 beers or fucking more. Made a stupid call, decided to jump in the car and give him a ride home. Anyway, I just went about my thing. You know, when you're pissed, you're overconfident, you think you're Superman. Started just giving this thing shit, like you do. The old VTEC, we all love it when we get up to 7-8 grand. Wring these things' neck. Was roaring out to his house, and about 3 or 4 corners from his house, I remember distinctly because it was dark and it was a little bit blurry, but I still remember it. It's one of those vivid moments where something really sort of traumatic happens and you sort of just burns into your mind and you can still remember the detail, like 15 years later. Anyway, so I went her up to about 150, and I remember coming around this corner and the car started pushing, the front wheels were squealing, and all I remember is like, Dan, just go, we're not gonna, he just screamed, we're not gonna make it. We're not gonna make it! And the next minute I remember seeing the tree, hitting the tree, and it just sort of moved up towards me in slow motion. I remember the lights were still on and shit. I remember just slamming my head into all sorts of shit. I don't know what I fucking slammed my head into, but it was the steering wheel, and that's why I've got scars all along my eyebrow. So I've slammed my head into the steering wheel, and we've hit this tree that hard that has pushed the motor up through the firewall, and the motor, no fucking shit, has come up into the cabin. Anyway, so we hit this tree, the car spun off the tree, then proceeded to spin into a paddock next to somebody's house and stopped a couple of meters from going through the side of someone's house. It knocked me out cold. I remember waking up and there was just dust and shit everywhere. It was dark. And it was fucking frightening. It was just fucking terrifying because just sort of like, you're badly concussed, you've been knocked out. You sort of wake up and you're like, what the fuck just happened? And I remember my first thought was like, fuck, have I killed my best mate, Dan? You know, because Dan and I, we grew up together. Like, as in we've been best mates since we were 4. Yeah, I remember meeting him first day at primary school and we just gelled. We've been sort of best mates ever since. Anyway, my first thought is, where the fuck's Dan? Is he dead? Is the, you know, he's not here. Well, you know, has the engine, you know, gone through his guts and this type of thing. Anyway, so I proceed to just have a bit of a look around. And I start to call his name, Dan, where are you? Dan. And all I'm thinking is, fuck, he's dead. I'm pissed. I'm going to jail forever. Like, this is not good. This is not good. Anyway, a few moments later I hear this Nev, and I can hear this faint Nev. And I'm like, where the fuck is he? Did he fly out of the car? Like, is he on the road, or is he missing his legs, or he's fucking got, you know, his arm snapped in half and he's missing an ear, right? And I turn around in the car, and it turns out that he didn't have a seatbelt on. His head hit the window when we hit the tree, the front window, and he was that drunk, just like me. He flopped around like a rag doll, shot in between the front seats, into the boot of the car, through the subwoofer, because it's like all of that was replaced with a big sub, and was fucking lying in the back of the car, uninjured. Completely fucking uninjured, right? So I've got a dislocated arm and blood pissing out of my face. Like, I've had to have 2 shoulder reconstructions, and I can show you those scars. Not pretty. Like, whenever I lift my arm above my head, it'd dislocate. Right, so the car'd squashed like a tin can. All the passenger side was caved in, and there's this fucking motor up, you know, up almost touching the fucking front of the passenger seat. So it's like, if he was in there, he would have been big shit. Anyway, so I climb over the top of that and get out of the passenger seat and proceed to stick my arm in and help Dan climb out the side of the car. And we fucking walked away from this thing. So the next thing I'm thinking, fuck, what am I going to do? I turn around and look at the car, and I remember I was that fucking drunk. I looked at the car and I'm like, oh, can I fix it? You know, meanwhile, the car had hit the tree that hard that it bent the crank in half. Like, it had literally bent the crank like that. There was nothing salvageable from this thing. Like, the sunroof was bent in half. All of the back quarter, the impact was that hard that the back quarter panels were all bent. Like, everything. Like, the dash exploded. I couldn't save anything from it. All the seat rails were all fucking bent. It's just sort of like, and we walked away from this thing. Like, not just barely, I was injured. You know, but as in, we should have been in a pine box. Like, because then I've had people that have been fire rescue see the car, and they're like, I've seen cars, you know, a third as damaged as this, with dead people lying in it. So anyway, the story doesn't end there. Rightio, so here I am, smashed car, fucking debris everywhere. We'd hit the tree that hard that one of the door skins had literally flown off the car, approximately 200 meters away, and landed in someone's yard. There was headlights 200-300 meters up the road. Just, you know, imagine the stopping power. You hit a tree at 100 k's and it just goes fucking whack. Like, it's like a, you know, it's a full explosion. It's like a bomb going on. So there's just car bits and debris everywhere. Neighbours come out of their house, 12 o'clock, 12:30 at night. They're like, what the fuck's going on here? There's this massive bang, wakes everybody up. Anyway, so I ring my stepdad and I'm like, I'm in big shit here. I've just wrapped this car around a tree. I need you to grab the tandem trailer, and I need you to come and I need you to get this car. I need you to actually just winch this car out and chuck it on the trailer and get rid of it, because the cops are going to be here any minute. So anyway, so we do that. He rocks up about 20 minutes later, gets rid of the car. That's great. We get a ride up to the local hospital to get checked out, because, you know, you feel like your guts has come out of your mouth. You know, I'm worried I've got internal bleeding. I didn't feel too good. So we go up to the hospital and we go to the front reception, and I go to the lady at reception. It's like, yeah, I've had a car accident. I didn't tell her how bad. I'm like, I've had a car accident. We just want to see someone get checked out, both Dan and I. I was just worried that, you know, one of us might have internal bleeding and fucking go to sleep and die. Anyway, so we go and we get checked out, and this nurse comes through. Take my little man for a walk. Mid-30s, got kids. I'm sure plenty of people up here have kids. Anyway, so we... Yes, see! Anyway, so nurse comes out, and it turns out I bloody recognised her. And I actually went to school with her son about 40 kilometres away. Went to school with Josh and used to, you know, go and hang out at his joint, and knew his mum quite well. And she goes, Nev, what are you doing here? You've had a car accident. And I'm like, yeah, had a car accident. So she takes us through and she lies us down on these those high beds, and she checks over me. She's like, I know you've been drinking, I can smell it. She goes, look, I've checked over you and I reckon you're alright. She goes, I'm not gonna report this because I'm legally supposed to, and then the cops would be all over me. But she goes, look, I reckon you're okay. I reckon you're okay and you can go home. Anyway, so yeah, we head home, we head back to Dan's house. You know, he had this open shed at the time, the lights on, he had an XP coupe and stuff there. We grabbed a couple of beers, sat down, drank these beers, and it's just like, what the fuck just happened to us? Anyway, so I head home, I go to sleep. I wake up the next day shaking, and I started like sort of convulsing and vomiting, like projectile vomiting everywhere. I was in shock and I had bruises all over me. It felt like I'd been through a dryer. You got something to say to everybody? He doesn't want me to tell my story. It's alright, I'm gonna get in trouble. Anyway, so I had bruises all over me, had yeah, the shoulder was completely smashed to bits, had scared some shit all over my face, and it turns out that we got away with it. The car got picked up and got dumped in my parents' and my mum's backyard. Had it at the tip with literally within a week. The whole situation was fucked. I'd wrapped this car around a tree, it almost killed myself, almost killed my best mate, and I'd done a runner from the cops, and we dragged the car away and got away with it. A few days later, the cops went past my house a couple of times. They were scoping my joint out and they'd look into the car. It was like, ha ha ha, too bad boys, it's already at the tip. So it's a bit of a wild story. I haven't really told anybody, but you know, I didn't get insurance on the car because I couldn't, because if I went through the claim process I would have got done for drunk driving, and I didn't go to jail and no one got killed. And I think the moral of the story is we all do dumb shit, and I'm not proud of it. Like, fucking, let's be honest. And I'm sure plenty of you guys have done, you know, shit like this, and we, you know, I'd love to hear in the comments anyone that's done something like this. And at the end of the day, it fucking broke my heart because I love that car too. You know, so that's why I'm doing this build, to basically build like an EF8. So anyway, so I had hurt my ankle too, and just to leave on a good note, the following weekend I actually played lawn bowls at the time. I was down to the last 16 in the state for this state championship in singles, and believe it or not, I went out a couple of weeks later, swollen ankle, and you know, won all my games. And at the time I beat one of the guys in the Aussie squad and made it to the final. And you know, how the fuck does that shit happen? Anyway, so I don't know what it is, if I was just fated to live, but we should have never survived that car accident, let alone walked out without injuries, and without obviously going to jail and all this sort of shit. So I thank my lucky stars, and I don't know how that happens. Put it down to fatal universe or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know, that's my story and that's what happened. So if you want to come on this journey with me to rebuild this car, it gives you a bit of a backstory as to why I want to do it. I want to build the car the way that it was and better. And I want to do it for a bit of closure, because I basically walked away from cars from that point. Haven't touched anything since. It's been 15 years. It's been 16 years actually. So anyway, like, subscribe, share the story. Tell me your story. We're really keen to know. We all do dumb shit. That's just life. Catch you later, lads. Hope you enjoyed it.